So we are starting with inverse trigonometric functions. What we have seen till now, graphs of inverse trigonometric functions, sine inverse x, cos inverse x, tan inverse x, sec inverse x, cot inverse x and cosec inverse x. First important thing what we have seen, that sine inverse x is not equals to sine x whole power minus 1. Okay. Also, sine inverse x is not equals to x upon sine. Okay. And most important thing what we have seen till now, functions and their PVB. Functions and their PVB. What are functions? If we see about sine inverse x, functions we have cos inverse x, functions we have tan inverse x, functions we have cot inverse x, then sec inverse x and cosec inverse x. Okay. For PVB, what we see, we need to remember only two PVBs, sine inverse x and cos inverse x. If PVB of sine inverse x, we already know it is what? Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. It is closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Next we will see PVB of tan inverse x. What is PVB of tan inverse x? Open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Next we will see PVB of cosec inverse x. What will be PVB of cosec inverse x? Closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 minus 0, because cosec x has problem where sin x is 0 and sin x is 0 at x is equals to 0. So PVB of cosec inverse x will be minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, closed interval minus 0. Okay. Next we will see PVB of cos inverse x. What is PVB of cos inverse x? Closed interval 0 to pi. It is closed interval 0 to pi. What will be PVB of cot inverse x? Open interval 0 to pi. PVB of sec inverse x? Closed interval 0 to pi minus pi by 2. Why minus pi by 2? Because sec x has problem where cos x is 0 and cos x is 0 at pi by 2. So PVB of sec inverse x is 0 to pi minus pi by 2. Is it okay? So it is all about PVB. What is PVB? PVB stands for what? PVB stands for principal value branch, or you can say it is what? Range. So first thing you have to keep in mind that PVB, that means value of sine inverse x, cos inverse x, tan inverse x, cot inverse x, sec inverse x, cosec inverse x cannot be beyond range. Okay. Next, what we have seen about functions, function and inverse function. What we have seen, if we have function f such that a to b, then its inverse will be f inverse such that b to a, f inverse b to a. Domain will be domain of a, domain of function will be range of inverse function, and range of function will be domain of inverse function. Okay, and we already know that to exist inverse function must be 1 1 and onto that is bijective function. Now let's see what we have. Sine pi by 6 we have what? 1 by 2. Sine pi by 6 we have 1 by 2. What is this? Is domain, this is range. If we talk about inverse function, what will be sine inverse of 1 by 2? What it should be? Pi by 6. Sine inverse of 1 by 2 should be pi by 6. If we have suppose cos pi by 3, it is also what? 1 by 2. If we find cos inverse of 1 by 2, what it will be? Pi by 3. Look here, domain which is your range and the range which is your domain. Okay, for any you can say what is, suppose we have sec inverse of root 2. Sec inverse of root 2 will be what? Pi by 4. Sec inverse of root 2 will be pi by 4. Okay, because sec pi by 4 is root 2. Sec pi by 4 is root 2. Okay, so in this we have covered this what? Domain is range of inverse function and range of function is domain of inverse function. Okay. Next, what we have for inverse functions, some rules are there. What are rules? Sine inverse of minus x, it is what? Minus of sine inverse x. Next, tan inverse of minus x is minus of tan inverse x, and cosec inverse of minus x is minus of cosec inverse x. Okay, we have for these trigonometric functions, these are rule. Okay, and for cos inverse of minus x, what is it? Pi minus cos inverse x. Okay, for sec inverse of minus x, pi minus sec inverse x, and for cot inverse of minus x, what is it? Pi minus of cot inverse x. Is it okay? So if we need to find, suppose we need to find cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2. What it will be? Cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2. First it will be pi minus cos inverse of root 3 by 2. Okay, and what is cos inverse of root 3 by 2? Pi by 6. So it is pi minus pi by 6, which is 5 pi by 6. Okay, now let's see why we have sine inverse of minus x is equals to minus of sine inverse x. Just try to prove it.